And so I found that not only are we struggling with each generation to adapt to globalization, to adapt to the modern culture, we are also still carrying a lot of our colonial wounds. Now, this will not be obvious to the layperson. And most lay people will be like, what are you talking about? Look at the Hindu community. I mean, we're like top, in the income bracket, and we're so prosperous. And what colonial wounds are you talking about? Don't be a victim. So a lot of that kind of conversations can happen. So it is hard to recognize this, but it does show up in our relationships with ourselves, the way we hold ourselves. How much compassion do we have for ourselves? How much understanding? How well do we understand our own history? How well do we understand what we have inherited, both the good stuff and the trauma stuff, and our relationships with our parents, with our children, with with our environment. So you can kind of see, just to give you some examples, some of the issues that come up are like boundary issues, boundary crossing. There's a low self-esteem, personality disorders, and here's the thing. This is very typical of trauma response. Either you're emotionally reactive, or we are emotionally cut off. So there's those extreme responses. And then there's another classic one is holding on to certain beliefs in a very rigid manner. Because at one point, I'm sure our ancestors tried to survive, and it was necessary to hold on to some beliefs very rigidly. But a lot of all this stuff is not serving us now. They may have been survival responses, but they're not serving us. And internalized colonization is another thing where we don't realize what we are carrying unconsciously that we have internalized from colonial times. Beliefs and a lot of shame about certain things that are related to being Hindu, being outdated, being antiquated, just not relevant to modern times. And another aspect of internalized colonization is the tendency to just kind of glorify anything Western, just kind of, and even in conversations, in our work, in our choices, we privilege things that are from Western knowledge systems unconsciously. So we kind of lose our authenticity and our pride in this process. So this really speaks to a very deep-rooted disconnection from our dharmic roots. And another common issue is spiritual bypass. Using spirituality to bypass all these issues, to use transcendence, or to use the language of, oh, well, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, we are all the same, we're all common. That is a very profound statement, but it has to come from an experiential place, not from a place of, okay, I'm going to just avoid dealing with this mess and I'm just going to bypass it. So then you're not in the here and now.